know that you all are eagerly waiting for our HTML session, right? So I don't want to delay it anymore. So let's start with the HTML session. So with the first question that you all are eagerly waiting for is, what is HTML? So what HTML is nothing but a hypertext markup language. I know you won't be getting any idea about what is hypertext markup language. Just imagine that simply in simple language, if I could explain, HTML is just nothing but a presentational language. Whatever that we see in the website, the writings and everything, the code that we are thinking, the content, the paragraph, headings, all the contents that we are seeing in a website is developed with the help of HTML. So HTML in simple language is nothing but a presentational language. Now, is a HTML a programming language? No. HTML is not a programming language. Programming language is basically includes a lot of logics and all. But in HTML, we doesn't need that much deeper logic and all. Whoever knows HTML basic structure and tags and everything can study a HTML language easily. So HTML is not a programming language, but instead it's a presentational language. Now, the markup language, HTML is a markup language for creating web pages or documents. So this is what the use of HTML what comes into play. So now you may be thinking that what is a web page? Web page, if I want to get a real life example for explaining what is a web page, just consider a book. So when you're considering a book, each book constitutes a lot of paper, right? So a group of paper constitutes a book. Now, in each paper there will be 2 pages, right? So each pages or a group of pages, like we can say that a group of pages constitute a book. Likewise, a website consists of different pages. When we click on the home button, we go directly on the home page. If you are clicking on the contact page, it will be going through the contact page. So a website is not just a single page, it consists of a lot of pages. So it's a collection of pages. So usually the pages inside a website is called a web page. So I hope it is much pretty easily to relate to a real life example. So in order to create that single each web pages, the HTML is coming into action. So HTML is used to create web pages, or simply what you call as documents of a website. Now, HTML is a building blocks of web. That means we can simply create a website using HTML and CSS, of course. If it doesn't need any backend action and all, just HTML CSS is there or required in order to provide the presentational view of a website. So I hope if you have only knowledge about HTML and CSS, many of you may be thinking that you won't get a job if you only know about HTML and CSS. But I assure you that there are many companies that are purely calling for persons, or they are giving some of their website development contents are being given to the freelancers, those who know completely of presentational languages like HTML and CSS. So they'll be outsourcing their content creation or the creation of the website presentational side of the website to the freelancers like HTML and CSS developers. So you don't have to worry about it. Even if you know HTML and CSS, that will be going to give you a good job. Now you may be now you get a somewhat idea about HTML. More clearer idea will be getting when we are going to a live session on the HTML, like we are coding and we are going to see the web pages that we are going to create and everything. So in order to create that particular HTML, or in order to code the particular HTML codes, we need several things. So what all things that we need, or what all technical things that we need in order to support our HTML language or HTML coding, is one thing that we very much important is a browser, because whatever that we are coding should be seen inside a particular page. That is what we usually the browser comes into action. So whenever we are going to code a HTML code, the output should be shown inside some output should be shown inside a browser. So there are a lot of browsers that is available in the market right now. As you can see, this is a Mozilla Firefox, and this is a Internet Explorer Edge, this is a Safari, and this is a famous Google Chrome. So among these, you may be thinking that which to choose, right? So currently, I'll be choosing nothing other than the Google Chrome, because it has been widely used by everyone. But it's okay if you are some may be good, very much comfortable in the Mozilla Firefox. Some may be good at much comfortable in the Internet Explorer Edge. So it's up to your choice. But I prefer Google Chrome. So one of the important thing that we must need for HTML coding is browser, in order to see the output what we have typed into the HTML code. So the next thing is that, so output has been showing in a browser. So where are we going to type our codes? So in order to type our codes, we need a platform, right? So that platforms constitute what you called as IDE. IDE is nothing but integrated development environment. Integrated development environment is an IDE that you called. I'll be explaining what is an IDE. Even you can before moving on to IDE, even you can code your code into a normal notepad, and you can display that particular notepad into the browser, like any other web browser that we have already mentioned. But what is the difference between a notepad and an IDE is what I would like to tell you. But before telling that, I would like to choose which IDE that we are going to use. So these are all the different IDEs that some of you may be familiar with. Some of these IDEs, some of you may not be. It's okay, fine. So this is what you first one that you called as a Sublime IDE, Sublime, and this is a Atom.io. This is a NetBeans. This is a IntelliJ. This is a brackets, as you can see the shape of a brackets. Yeah, this is called as a bracket, and this is called as a Visual Studio Code. So there is Visual Studio also, but we are using Visual Studio Code. So these are all the IDs, some of the IDs that I have chosen to, in order to show you, in order for you to be familiarized with. So these are the IDs that are available in the market. But today I'm going to teach you, or I'm going to make you familiarize with an IDE called Visual Studio Code. So this is one which we are going to go through it. So I'll show you just an interface or UI or user interface, what the user see, the interface of the Visual Studio Code. So this is how basically the Visual Studio Code looks like. So not without any delay, we'll be getting into the Visual Studio Code, so no need to worry about anything. So I think I need to tell you what an IDE is, right? So if you want to explain what an IDE is, would be better if you can compare a notepad and an IDE that is available. Notepad is not an IDE, it's just a text editor. What you can do in a notepad is we can scribble down something, some characters, special characters, or whatever that we have in a keypad, and also then we can edit it, like we can save it and we can store it somewhere else, and we can edit it. If you want to edit the content, you can just open it and edit the contents and save it. But what about things that we cannot do in a notepad is something that is available in an IDE. Okay, so I'll be explaining the features of an IDE. Of all the IDEs that is available, the first thing is that we can write, just like in notepad, we can write whatever things that we want to write in an IDE, just simply like a notepad. Then after writing, we can debugging it. So what the term debugging is, just like it's like a detection of errors. If there is any error in what we have writing in a code, this IDE will be showing that this is an error, this line contains an error, so it will be showing like that. But that feature is not available in notepad. So notepad is just called a text editor, but an IDE like Visual Studio, Sublime, and all, they are like purely they have ability to write, they have the ability to show a debug, that means showing the errors if we are doing anything, because we are humans, we make mistakes, right? So we can make errors, so those errors will be shown out or pointed out by this IDE. Then this also helps to translate that. We'll be writing it in high level languages like English, so the English or the high level languages cannot be understood by the system. So usually what the system underground in the IDE, what the background it does is, whatever we are writing it in a high level languages has been converted into machine level language. That is in mostly like binaries. So machine understand only one language which is called machine language, that is in binary. Binary means ones and zeros. So IDE does have the ability to translate that particular machine high level language into machine level language, and that doesn't have that Notepad doesn't have that much of capability. And also IDE does have another capability like run. It have the ability to, we can run that particular code and we can display it in the browser. And that other feature of IDE is documentation. That is very much important. We can document this, we can keep a document, we can save this document, and we can write it, and whenever we can open it we can see that particular document, and we can edit it, we can manipulate it, whatever things we can. Thus the documentation is very much important, and IDE provides all these 5 features: writing, debugging, translate, run, and document. So that's pretty much about what is an HTML, what is a CSS, what's the use of HTML, what all the things that we required in order to run the HTML code, that is a browser and an IDE. So you know now what is the difference between a Notepad and an IDE. So that is pretty much about the basic introduction.